Hello everyone, George here, and welcome back to my implementation of Five Nights at Freddy's inside of, well, right now we're working in Maya LT, but it'll be going in Unity hopefully soon enough. We're back in the Backstage room, and we're going to finalize some of the modeling here. So why don't we go ahead and get rid of the ceiling, Control H, and we are going to add the wires in from last time that we had not finished off. So let's take a look here. A few things that we got to do, I guess, right before then is we didn't combine the table into one object, so let's grab all those, combine them right now, save. Maybe we should call this something like backstage underscore table. Save that, and let's take a look. These are still separate elements at the moment, so we'll probably rename them later on. Let's grab the table, hide that out for the moment. Come on over here, and we need these wires, so let's take a look at our reference material really quick to get a sense of what we need. We can see these wires here crisscrossing across it. We also need the employees only sign, which will then be duplicated in some way and then used on the door when we get to making the doors as well. The employee sign is very easy. Why don't we just finish that one off right now? So let's just create a box, and let's squash that down in one dimension, cross the other one as well, take it and move it up, use the D key to move it to the back over here, and then move it against that wall. And why don't we also go to F8 for component, and then right click. Let's see if we can't go to face mode from the back. Delete that out, grab the front face, make it thinner because there's no reason for it to be quite so thick. F8 again to go to object mode, move this up above the door, frame up, F key, and let's look at it from face on, frame up right here. And let's see, that's not quite centered, that's pretty centered. And let's just stretch it out because it is larger than the door. So something like that maybe, and maybe not quite so tall, and then down a little bit. And that's going to be our employees only sign. So let's do backstage underscore employees only. So looking over here now, we've got a series of wires crisscrossing down. We'll make a series of wires, and then we will, of course, go lazy on it and then duplicate them, mirror them, or something to make this work. And we kind of know what we're supposed to be doing. Control H. We'll use those as reference for size, and then we're just going to put our curves in, something like that. Enter, and then grab, whoops, let's do another curve, and then just maybe have them come down and enter. And let's just duplicate these curves a few times and move them off, and then we'll make something of them. Let's see, F8, let's go to control vertex, and then just start playing with the curves and making them do different things. Use the up and down arrows if you want to on your keyboard so that you can move from one to the next, or left and right actually looks like works just fine too. And let's see. Okay, now that we've got these, one thing I do want to do is take these now, and at the crisscross points, I want to make sure that one comes in front of the other. So let's go to our points here, and actually we should probably grab all of these and see if we can't go to edit mesh, or actually let's go to curves, and we're going to rebuild our curves. Let's say the number of spans is 6, rebuild. Let's go and take a look at them now. Okay, and we're going to grab some of these spans and just pull out one from the other so that they don't quite overlap. And that way we're not going to have the same problem as this image where you see these overlaps there and there. Okay, and this one can overlap this one. So there's that. And I'll take both of these and have them come away from the wall. And of course you can take the time to make them, you know, come back and forth if you really want to from the wall. It's up to you. I'm assuming at some point somewhere these wires are somehow bound to the wall using some kind of a nail or plastic piece. Okay, good enough. Alright, so now we're going to, let's save this out really quick. Save, let's get some circles in here, some nerves, circles, NURBS, and make that really small. And let's do, hold down C and middle mouse click along this curve. Oh, I don't want to constrain, please. No constraints. Move that up to the top. Frame up on it, it's still way too big. I'm going to go to View, select Camera. Let's go to the Attribute Editor. And let's change this to 0 and get rid of one of our far clipping planes. So I can get a little bit closer to this before I clip. And I want to shrink that down. Let's get a sense of scale now. I really won't figure it out until I actually do it. So let's just do it. Let's go to Surface and let's go to Extrude. So there's our surface. And let's go to our extrude node, turn fixed path on. Now we can see what it's doing. It's not too thick, and even if it does appear to be, we can, let's delete that one. Let's grab this and through the power of history make it a little bit thinner after all. Okay, Control D, W, and see that one up there. Control D, see that there. Control D, and just start moving these where they need to go up the curve. Great. Grab you, and curves, surface, extrude, and on. And I should be doing this through here, so I don't have to keep doing that. So extrude, and at path, apply, and then U and U, G, 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 and G. Great. Close. And let's go to show curves and turn them off really quick. So those are our wires that we have set up for right now. We can flip these over on their axis. We're going to need to, of course, convert these over into polygons. So we'll need to do that. So let's grab our curves and go to, let's see, convert or modify, convert NURBS to polygons. We're going to do quads, and this is where I'm going to play around for a little bit, just figuring out how many U's and V's I want to make this actually work right. I should probably do this for each one. So let's just go, I'm not going to need 10, so let's go with just say 6 in the U direction. And if I hit apply on one of these, we can see what we end up with. Apply. Now how many do I get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. And then 10 is going this way, so let's make this a lot more. So let's do 20. Hit apply. And there we go. That fits much better. And let's do the same for each of these now. Since we kept the curvature relatively low, it's not really that bad. So there we are. So those are our wires. So we can grab each of those now. Actually, let's go to show and do NURB surfaces and turn them off. So now we just have the polygon representations. There's nothing at the top. I just need to double check and make sure that I don't have inside out polygons. They look okay. We can grab these. We can go to polygons, fuse them together for right now, just for ease. Or actually, we can grab them, group them for the moment, take them, and let's do display, show all. Move them back to somewhere around here for the walls, and then duplicate that group, move it over here, and then within that you can, do all your fun stuff like flipping them around or flipping them upside down and then putting them back in the room. However you want to, really. And then that's the basic geometry that we need for the wires themselves that show up in here. Okay, now with that, I believe we've got all of the basic geometry done that we need in this scene into doing some of the UV texturing. We are going to use some of the textures that we've already created to make our life a little bit easier, I think, but we're going to modify them to suit this room. One thing is these walls aren't the checkerboard type. It looks like these walls are just a flat painted color, as you can see through here. It looks like a dark greenish blue color. More blue maybe than the others. So let's go ahead and open Photoshop and begin working on making these changes. Alright, so here we are. So we're going to get rid of the red stripe for now, because it turns out there is no red stripe in that scene. And we're going to extend that down a little bit. Apply, and our checker, which is right here, now gets to be replaced with a new layer. And let's actually call this something different before I completely destroy this texture. So let's go to Photoshop and call this, let's make a new folder, Backstage, and call this Backstage Wall. Let's just fill this with the color we think it should be. And like I said, I was going for a weird blue, dark blue, green. Yeah, like that. Can I select? Yes, I can. All right, so we're going to do Control D, Shift F5, everything in here. And then we're going to go in here and then select all this and make a mask out of that. And then we get this from everything we see. Now, I have a bottom that's not quite working as a bottom. So let's just change a few things. So we're going to scale this up, I think. And maybe shrink it down ever so slightly. Okay, apply, and great. The border edge is a little too perfect, so we probably want to look at this, go to Filter, and let's go to Filter Gallery and introduce a little bit of screwiness to it. So the ripple size is a bit much there, so the magnitude needs to be adjusted, I'm sure. Yeah, something like that maybe. And then just filter, blur, blur more. Okay. And then with that, we can see kind of what happened. So let's take this layer and pull it up a little bit. And someone is getting you, sir, are this layer, and you're affecting the base, but I only want you to affect the base. So you need to be made larger. That's all. That's what we need. Okay. And actually, you're really kind of messing things up, aren't you? Let's go to maybe overlay is the right thing for us. No. Need the darks to come through a little bit better. Let's go to Control L and okay, something like that. That's better. I can go with this. So let us go to save this file, save as PNG, FNAF, textures, and new folder. F2, Backstage, and Backstage Wall. Save, okay. Let's go into Maya and click on hide that, click on that, I guess. Window, let's see, edit, delete by type, history. Let's go to window and our hypershade. We're going to need to duplicate that shading network. So let's find it. Duplicate shading network. So we want to call this Backstage wall underscore M. Backstage underscore or wall underscore file, and then backstage wall underscore texture. All right, and let's go ahead and change the color up. Backstage wall, right click, assign existing material, backstage wall, and there we are. We have our new backstage wall texture set up. So the wood grain on this door is next, and then we'll probably end up using that again. Now the table itself just looks like a much darker kind of wood, so why don't we just take the existing wood that we have and make it darker. So we'll close this out, file, open, and let's go to FNAF, Photoshop, and did we not, let's see, supply closet, rack, that's what it's called. So let's go to Photoshop, supply closet, and we need the rack. There we are. Save this out as a different one so we don't screw with this. Backstage and wood. Save. Okay. I'm going to turn off that bit first, and we are going to modify this. So we're going to need to make this much darker. So let's go to levels and like this, and then probably something like this. I'm going to go to Control U, and I think I have some green in here that I don't want. So let's go to hue saturation and master greens. Are they in there? Is that coming through? No, it's not. What about blues? Something is in there, and I don't know what color that is. Might not be a color, might just be darkening because it's coming out in the saturation. Or when you desaturate the entire image all the way. Okay. So that's a bit darker, not quite what we want yet. So if we take this layer now, I am going to put that all the way over it like that. Now we've got some dirt going on it. I mean, really, overall, the whole thing needs to be. So if we choose this, put a new layer on top of it. Let's see. Change our vibrance. We're getting better. I'm going to go back to levels again. Yeah, okay. I like this. Let's go with that. So save and file, save as. Could not complete. That's fine. File, save as. Thank you. Let's go PNG, FNAF, textures, and backstage. Come back into Maya, and we'll need to duplicate or assign it a new material, doesn't matter which. So assign new material, Fong, backstage, let's see, Fong, let's do backstage underscore, or backstage wood underscore M, color, and we'll do file, underscore all right, Let's jump over, grab that file now. Textures, Backstage and wood. And we'll just need to adjust the UVs, but for the most part that's looking all right. I'm going to go ahead and just attach these, the wood texture to these really quick and see what it looks like. Whoops. There we are. So definitely the UVs are going in the wrong direction. Let's just grab all of these really fast. Let's see, mesh, window, modeling, UV, and just take these really quick and transform with a rotate. Bink. Okay. Better. Sort of. Within what we have. We'll have to adjust those UVs. But anyway, that's enough for this video. So we finished up the modeling aspect of what we have to do and we began our texturing. And in the following video, hopefully we finish everything up. Let's go to, let's see, window, let's see, display, show all. So hopefully we finish up all the last bits of texturing, which is adjusting the UVs on the table and these areas over here, and then finalizing the texture necessary for this, and then laying out our wires and putting a texture on them as well. Thanks everyone for watching. Remember, if you liked it, give me a like. If you dislike it, don't just give me that dislike, but also tell me why so I can improve. And if you want more content like this in the future, remember to subscribe. I'll see you next time. So long, goodbye.